Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am ValoraRauchel. In this video, we'll be making a similar bracelet to the one I just posted, but this one is purple and we have silver accessories or ending accessories. So if you're interested in how to make this design for yourself, stay tuned. Okay guys, and I'm back. So here are all of our supplies for this project. So we have our beads here. We have our beading needle right there. We have our bead bugs. And these are little caps that you can put at the end of your thread or your wire so that your beads don't fall down whenever you're working with multiple strands. We have our extender chain, our lobster clasp. We have our crimping tubes. I forgot to get that out, but I'll put that on the mat in a second. Crimping tubes. You need your crimp covers, jump ring. I have 3 pre-cut beading wires that are 10 inches long. We have our wire cutter, our crimping pliers, and some regular jewelry pliers. Now, you don't need the round ones for this project. This is just what I have. So if you have 2 straight jewelry pliers, that is perfect. And I have a ruler. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, guys, and I'm back. So hopefully if you watched the first version of this bracelet, you have already gotten the hang of it. I am going to take this off my wrist and I'm going to lay it down so you guys can see what we're going to be working with today. Okay, so for this, like I said in the last video, you can use beading wire or beading thread. If you use beading thread, you might need a beading needle. The wire is pretty firm, so I can actually just pick up the beads like this, okay? And the size of this wire is 0.3 mm or millimeters, okay? I'm gonna put this to the side. Okay, so we are going to align all of the ends of our beading wire. We are going to insert all 3 into the crimping tube. That's that. It's like a small metal tube that's used to hold your work, your thread and things like that. It's really small. I'm just going to put all 3 through there. Okay, so I make all of my bracelets, my adult bracelets, because I'm thinking about doing children's bracelets as well. So the adult bracelets are going to be 6 inches, and then I add a 2-inch extender chain, and I'll probably make an option for if your wrist is larger than 8 inches, then you can request an add-on for an additional chain, and I can do that, no problem, no extra cost. And then, all right, back to the work. So like I said, I make the bracelet 6 inches long. This wire is 10 inches, so that leaves us 2 inches on each side for wiggle room to work with. I am now going to bend the wires back over and feed it back through the crimping tube. Then I'm going to push up the crimping tube just until we have a small loop. I'm just using this to slide it up. I am not pushing down on it yet. And then I'm going to pull these down a little bit to make, I want to make sure you guys can see. I'm just pulling it. I'm just pulling these to make the loop smaller, that's all. Now you can make your loop as large as you want. I like mine's pretty small. And I just pull each one until they're even and kind of lined up a bit. There we go. So that's perfect for me. That's fine. Okay. And then we have that sticking out. Before we cut this, we need to secure the crimping tube in place. So we'll use our crimping pliers. They have teeth on them. We're just gonna squeeze down on the very tip. Okay. So I got my loops aligned, and I'm going to go down hard but nice and slow. We don't want to break it. And I'm going to just squeeze down like that. That's in the middle. Then I just go on the edges, and then I do the other side. So now that is flat and secure. If you want to make sure that it's not going anywhere, you can pull your wire or your thread to make sure it doesn't come through, which that did a little bit. So let me push that back up. And I'll just give it a little more squeeze. Now when you pull through, you don't want to pull through as if, let's say, I'm forcibly trying to pull this apart. You want to give it enough tug for, say for instance, it was to pull by accident. Will it still be intact? That's enough strength. Because with any piece of jewelry, if you pull it hard enough, this will all fall apart. Okay? But we are looking for simple pulls that may naturally happen, that may get caught on something. Would it break? No. Okay? So maybe I had a little too much force on that one because it's secure. There we go. Okay, now that we got that in there, and I'm heavy-handed, so I'm always very careful. I have to be very careful when I'm making jewelry. And so this is our wire cutter, and that will cut our wire excess off. Okay, I think mine are getting a little dull. I'm gonna have to get some. I have a new pair, but these are fine for now. So that's that. And this is our crimping cover. So this is actually going to cover this up at the end. Just give it a cleaner look. Okay. All right. So now we are going to start beading our work. So this is where we will make sure we have our bead bugs handy and ready, because we have 3 strands that we're going to bead up to 6 inches or whatever your desired length would be. And then you'll need these. Okay. And I'm not going in any particular pattern with this design. All the colors match perfectly together. Also, when you first start out, it's probably best to use the smaller beads. So this is an assortment of beads, and there are some larger round beads in here. So since these 3 wires are so close together at the start point, it'll probably be better to use the smaller beads just so they have some room to fit, so it doesn't look like it's bulging out. Okay. All right, so I'll pick about 2 to 3 smaller beads, and then now I'll just go randomly. It's like whatever I pick up. I'll put that there. As you can see, I keep going in blindly, hoping I can pick up some beads, but nothing's coming out. So you can be intentional on the beads that you pick up as well. I'll just do that to make it go by faster. And no particular order. All right, so let's check and see if we're at 6 inches. So as you can see, I pushed my work. I pushed the beads down. Not, just until they stop. I don't want any bulging because I want to get a true size. As long as they're nice and comfortable. All right, so we have a little bit more to go. And then again, when we get to the ends, we kind of want to stay away from the larger beads. So I'll do a large bead now and then do the rest small. That might be too many, but let's check it out. Okay. Oh, that's actually perfect. All right, so we're going to use our bead bug. So this opens and closes. You open it up. I'm going to stick the wire through there. Make sure it's in there, and then shut it down, and it closes and it's secure. Now, if you pull on it too hard, it will come off, which I'm not going to do because I don't want beads going flying everywhere. So you be gentle, but it's enough that the beads won't fall down. Okay, like natural tugging. And then we just do the same thing for the next 2 wires. Just Okay. So if you wanted to take a break at this point, or you have something to do, you can put your bead bug on your third one and come back to your work. But since I'm going to jump right into finishing off this project, I am just going to carefully remove these. Make sure I'm holding the wire there. And if it falls down, you may lose a few beads. Just string them back on and make sure you have your 6 inches. Okay, so we're just going to close off our work there. So see, when you have the smaller beads towards the end, it's more of a flat look towards the ends. If not, it's fine, because the good thing about these bracelets, usually the part on your outer wrist is what people see, and that part would be here anyway. It's not noticeable, but I pay attention to everything. So especially when you're making something, you're looking at all the imperfections that other people probably wouldn't even see. That's that. So I'll have that nice and straight. And then we're going to put our crimping tube on. I'm just going to pick it up with the pliers this time. Slide that in there. All right, and then you want to get close to your work, but not touching your work. Okay, just get as close as you can. But first we need to flip the 3 wires back through the crimping tube to make our small loop. Okay. Push this down. Then I'll pull our string. That's there. And I kind of want to make sure they're a little more even, just for a cleaner look. So I just pull them. There we go. So now they're right on top of each other and it looks nice and clean. Okay. Then we are gonna, oops, they moved. Because I'm doing this on camera, so I lost it. Let me fix it back. There we go. Okay, then we'll take our crimping pliers again, just using the tip, and we are going to press down gently but firm. There we go, and then we'll do the ends. Do the ends. My wire got a little twisted. Okay, so that's that. Again, give it a little tug just to make sure it's secure. We're not trying to yank it out, but just make sure it's secure and it's not, it can sustain this action. Okay, and then we're going to use our wire cutters and cut off our excess. All right. Okay. So now we're almost finished. We just have to put on our closing pieces. And this is just to give it a cleaner look. All right, so we're going to have our pliers here. I'm going to pick up the jump ring with the pliers. Just makes it easier for me. And so on one end, we will use the lobster clasp, or whatever type of clasp you want. There's different types out there. I'm using a lobster clasp because I'm using an extender chain. If you wasn't using an extender chain, you can use whatever closure piece you want. And then I'm going to go through my loop. Make sure you go through all 3 wires before you close it up. Or you have to go, or you'll have to go back and fix it. And I'll put in my lobster clasp. There we go. Just slide that on like that. Now these jump rings came already opened. It was already open. So I'm simply going to close it. And I'm not going to pull it apart. I am just going to simply close it. You go back and forth. So if they were closed when you received it, you just open it up, you know, here, and you will open it up. But now it's already open, I'm going to close it. So here, and until they meet together. Now I'm slightly opening this one up just because it's a little off. Sometimes they get I don't know. I guess how it comes from the manufacturer. Okay, so they're aligned. Normally they just meet up, but sometimes you do have to fix it. Just be gentle. You can always fix it. Or if you feel like when you meet them up, there's a little gap, you can gently close it. Very gently, because you don't want to change the shape. You kind of want to keep the circular shape. Okay, so that's that end is done. Let's do the other end. Again, pick up our jump ring, put it through our 3 wires, our extender chain. I'm just putting it on the very end there. Now you can get these extender chains already pre-cut, or you can just buy the chain, like the long chain, they sell them, and you can actually use your wire cutters and cut them. So if you feel like you want to give your customers a little bit more, so you can maybe give like 3 inches. So these were, I bought these right here pre-made, so these are only 2 inches, okay? And now we're going to close like before. I'm trying to get a good grip before I close. Okay, and there. See, that one was perfect. That's how it should be. Right there. But everything isn't always perfect. I feel like these are twisted. There we go. That's that. Okay. Final part. We are going to cover our crimping tubes because that doesn't look nice to sell like that. So let's give it a nice clean finish with this crimping cover. So make sure that it's covering your crimping tube. Have it seated in place. And make sure it's going flat against. Okay, let me take it out so I can explain. So you see how that's flat, going horizontal? It's flat. And the opening, I'm trying to do this on camera, but if you just listen to my words and then you just put the opening directly on top of it going horizontal. Okay. I'm trying to do this in short on camera. I'll get better at it over time. Okay. So you can just hold the two ends together. I have the chain on this side under my thumb and the beads under my index finger. Oh, it came out. But you guys get the point. It's going to be horizontal. You're going to sit the crimp tube in there, hold it steady, hold it in place like this. It's in there. All right, and make sure all of your wires, so there's like a little hole there in the middle. You can kind of tell where it's meant to be closed. Make sure your wires are not in the way so you don't close up on it. And then I'm going to take some pliers. And some of these are hard to push down, so you're going to this one you can use some force. So now I'm just going to push down and it closes up. It's almost like a circle, but it's kind of like an oval circle. And now it's closed. And it's just a cover. That's all. And you can turn it so that the opening piece is towards the inside of the work. But over time, as the customer wears it, it flips around, it does its own thing. So people will naturally just turn it around themselves. As I'm sure you do when you have jewelry and you're like, oh, let me flip that piece over. Because it does its own thing. So that's that. Since it wants to stay this way, I'll make that. Oh, it's going to the side. That's fine. Okay. Then we'll do the next side. Same concept. As long as the crimping tube is horizontal, we'll put that right on top. Right in there like that. I'm trying to show you guys. Pretty simple. Okay. We'll just hold everything in place. Make sure everything's out of the way for when you close it. Get a good grip on it. And I'm going to shut it close. And keep going. Some of these are hard. Whoops. That sounded scary. Okay. That's that. And it closes. If you want to, sometimes they don't come down completely like flush, which is not really that noticeable. Like I said, if you're like me, you notice everything. And I just kind of push it around and make sure nothing's sticking out. But this is the part essentially that people will see, this part. Because that opening will be in the back. It's not really noticeable. And that's it. And we have our bracelet. Our 3-stranded. And sometimes they flip-flop and they do what they want to do. I kind of straighten them out. And get them back straight. Figure out which one goes where. There we go. That one goes on the outside. Oh, and I could probably give this a little twist so it stays that way. But they're not gonna stay straight. They're gonna naturally like turn and twist on each other. Okay. And then I can put it on. Oh, that's too big. I'll just put it there. All right. And that's our bracelet. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow my TikTok at ValoraRauchel because I go live on there randomly whenever I'm making beaded jewelry for the store. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.